Imagine this. You sit down on a fucking Wednesday evening at 10:15 because your favorite team is facing none other than the Seattle Kraken. You're thinking, oh, it's going to be a good game. They're pretty close in the standings. Should be close. Hopefully Montreal can come out the win. And oh my gosh, we're already down 0-2. But wait, all of a sudden, that's four unanswered. Are we back? Are we going to win? Is that Brandon Montour with a breakaway right as overtime begins? This is essentially how I felt watching the game on Wednesday evening, and I thought today it'd be nice to sort of break down the tragic ending that game had and just basically everything that led up to it, and then also talk a little bit about the absolute domination we had against the Panthers for some reason. Here we are in the first, and it's clear that Montreal wasn't ready to start this game. They're immediately outshot and outskated by the Kraken, and very dangerous chances were happening basically right out of the gate. And all of a sudden, after some back and forth play in the first, a puck sent in by Matty Beniers is thrown around the boards by Dobish. Or at least that was the idea Dobish had, as Bjorkstrand was able to get possession by blocking it, and a good slide down into his shooting position by Montour and a quick snap gave the Kraken the early lead. Just a slight goalie error, not much to talk about there, but it was evident that Montreal was not ready to start the first period. Adding on to the lack of poise or focus by Montreal, here's a play I wanted to highlight. This entry by the Kraken had ample defenders around who were able to defend a scoring chance, but Burakovsky basically ends up walking right in and getting a prime scoring opportunity. Dobish and a few lucky saves by the Iron kept Montreal in the game in the first, escaping with a 1-0 deficit. However, just 5 minutes into the first, the Kraken would strike again. Off a similar looking play, the puck is rimmed around where Dobish would attempt to play it. Again. This time, he misses it, and the puck is craftily redirected into space by the Kraken captain Jordan Eberle, right onto Tolvanen's stick, who makes no mistake. Brutal way to go down 2-0, but let's not put this all on Dobish. He's only a rookie, and 19 shots to 6, 15 minutes into the second is just pure domination by the Kraken. However, Montreal's improving power play unit brings some life into this game. You know it's coming, but you just can't stop it. Suzuki swings the puck over to Laine for a blast, and all of a sudden, the lead is cut in half. All of a sudden, Montreal seems to have some life, getting into higher danger areas and getting good opportunities. Then, a seemingly harmless Newhook Laine zone entry turns into a quick equalizer as Laine uses his body to shield the puck and Newhook uses his speed to get to the far post for a cross-crease goal. Beautiful play by those two to get Montreal back in the game. Then, just a few minutes later, Hudson throws the puck up the half wall to Caulfield, who redirects it to Slav. The second half merchant himself makes a nice move on a seemingly lost Joey Decord, and just like that, the Canadiens are now in front. Third period starts, and let me tell you, I am feeling great. What a hole we dug ourselves out of. It's absolutely amazing, and off a Struble shot, Slav gets another goal with the highest stick he's ever seen.
100% sure that was the highest stick I ever had.
But wait, I wouldn't be making this video if it was just all sunshines and rainbows. I'm sure all of you know how this game ended too. So let's see. An Arbor Jackeye hooking penalty gives the Kraken 2 minutes of power play time in crunch time. Jordan Eberle knifes his way through the Montreal defense before throwing the puck back towards Montour at the point. Montour dumps it back down and Eberle anticipates it, waiting there to receive it. As he does, rookie Newman slides down without Matheson or Savard adjusting accordingly to get his first of his career and to now cut Montreal's lead in half. Yet another penalty by the Montreal D-Corps in the clutch moments of this game leads the Kraken to go on a 6-on-4. Seriously, they were lost this game. Stevenson works it back to Montour, who gives it to the extra man in Dunn, who absolutely torches it and is tipped by Beniers past Dobish. Just like that, 4 unanswered are essentially wiped away, and now this game is going to OT, where the real breakdown begins. Right off the bat, I do not understand why Christian Dvorak is out there and is taking probably the most important draw of this game. Sure, he's been putting up pretty good numbers on draws this season, but our overtime should have the best players possible on the ice, and Dvorak is not a top dog. Secondly, this puck is nicely chipped forward by the Kraken center Stevenson, but even so, Dvorak looks as though he attempts to win it back with literally no one there. I don't even understand this draw structure in an OT period. I would actually like someone in the comments to let me know if they're more educated than I, but I digress. For a lot of people saying Lane is at fault here because Montour got past him, I feel like that's a little unfair. This was clearly a set play by the Kraken, and Montour had already basically leapt past Lane before the puck ever hits the ice. Whatever the case may be, Montour breaks in, scores, and Montreal lose a game that they almost had control of and basically should have won. And this is why I don't understand this team, because our next game was night and day. Basically, complete domination of one of the most dominant teams in the league, as the fans in the Bell Center chanted for essentially all the end of the third period. Personally, I would love to see Montreal find some more consistency, since a loss like that never looks good and is not usually followed up by an insane bounce back game like the one they just had. Let me know about your thoughts of how they've played this season. Drop me a like and follow if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.